Alright, let's look at one more thing for this chapter. Civil versus criminal law. Yeah. Alright, civil law is law dealing with enforcement or protection of private rights. Yeah, what does that mean? Criminal law is law dealing with offenses against society. Alright, let me break it down for you. Civil law, person versus person. You and I enter into a contract. I breach the contract. You're going to sue me for money damages, right? That's civil law. Criminal law is you decide to kill me because I breached the contract. Well, you have just committed a crime against society. So the state is going to sue you for murder. Alright? So you have civil and criminal. Alright, go back, and I'm sure y'all heard of the OJ case. OJ won his criminal case, right? That's when the state of California brought a suit against him for the murder of his wife, right? He won that because they were not able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that OJ had actually killed his wife. Now, in the civil side of it, the wrongful death action that was brought by OJ's wife's estate against OJ, he lost that because the burden was much lower. It was only preponderance of the evidence, which is tipping the scales, okay? So in civil law, it's person versus person. Criminal law is person versus state, okay? Most things we'll deal with in this class are going to be civil law, dealing with business matters. Now, tort law. This is a private wrong by which damages may be recovered. Number one thing in tort law is negligence. Duty, breach of duty, causation, and damages. Okay? Other things that are associated with tort law are battery, assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, trespass, this sort of thing. But the biggest one is negligence. Right? Look at this. 4 elements. Number 1, duty. In general, we all have a duty to act as reasonable, prudent persons, right? If you don't, you have breached your duty. As a result of that, if you cause something bad to happen, which causes damage to the other party, you may be guilty of negligence. All right? So that's tort law. Ethics. Yeah, there's no such thing as ethics with lawyers, right? Well, let's look at ethics in a little bit of detail. All right. Ethics is unethical behavior that results in serious consequences to people and cause serious harm. Laws are formed to address such behavior. All right. Sexual harassment in the workplace. Okay? Gentlemen, you cannot go up to a young lady and make crude remarks. Okay? You can't do it. It's not appropriate. Now, the majority view of ethics influences which matters are covered by law. All right? Whether or not to acknowledge gay marriage. Okay? Well, is it ethical? Is it legal? Who knows? Now, a change in society's views of ethics causes the law to change. What? What do you mean? Check this out. Things once considered immoral are now accepted and vice versa. It was okay to smoke on an airplane back in the day. Now smoking has become more and more limited. Not just because of ethics, but because of health. I was thinking of some other things. Ladies, did you know that 100 years ago you couldn't wear red on Sunday? Yeah. Now, ladies, how many of you have worn red on Sunday? That's what I thought. Several of you. It's no big deal. That's just an example of how society changes over time. As society changes, as our ethics change, the laws also change. I mean, look at what we talked about just a second ago. Whether or not to acknowledge gay marriage. If you were to say that 50 years ago, you would be, hung up in a tree. But today, society has changed, and we are more tolerant towards this type of issue, right? Business ethics may be legally enforceable where state or federal government have codes of professional conduct. Okay? Attorneys have this. Doctors have this. Many other professionals have this. Codes of ethics can also be voluntary, all right, provided by an employer and must be followed to continue work, but not enforced by the government. They can be enforced as a company as a condition of employment. So ethics plays a fairly large role in the law. Okay?